What is up? Welcome to Criminology Masterclass, where we talk about anything and everything about criminology. For this video, we will be talking about criminology schools of thought. First and foremost, the classical school of thought that took place on the 18th century, also known as the Age of Enlightenment. Brief recall lang, ang Age of Enlightenment, before this was the time where the philosophers started asking questions, started asking ideas, started creating questions and ideas na nag-improve sa overall thinking ng humankind. Okay? Kaya po Age of Enlightenment kasi nagkaroon po ng paglilinaw sa mga bagay-bagay, lalo na't nagke-question na sila. Bakit nga ba tayo naniniwala sa ganito? Bakit nga ba tayo gumagawa ng ganito? Yan, dun po sila nag-start mag-question, kaya po tinawag yun na Age of Enlightenment. Ngayon, si Classical School of Thought, pinakakilala dahil sa concept ng free will. Okay? What is free will? Free will is the freedom of choice. Free will states that you can do whatever you want. Yun po ang ibig sabihin ng free will. At dun kilalang kilala si Classical School of Thought. Sinasabi po dyan that crimes are committed because the criminals wanted to do that crime. Yun po yung pinaka-concept na tinuturo ng Classical School of Thought when it comes to bringing up free will. Next, philosophic calculus or hedonism. Ito rin po yung isang concept na inintroduce during the Classical School of Thought. Sabi daw po that humans are calculating animals. And we calculate our decisions, we make our decisions by measuring the pleasure and pain that we can achieve or we can experience in making a certain decision. Ulitin ko lang po. Sa philosophic calculus, also known as hedonism, ang sinasabi po ang mga tao ay sinusukat ang pleasure and ang pain na makukuha sa desisyon na nagagawin natin, at pinapaboran natin at mas pinipili natin ang desisyon or ang option na nagbibigay sa atin ng maximum na pleasure at merong minimal lang na pain. Halimbawa, kapag ka may assignment, gagawa ng assignment, gagawa ng project. Okay? Kapag naharap tayo dyan, nararamdaman natin na masyadong pressure, magsisearch pa, magsusulat pa. Ngayon, nakita natin yung option na pwede naman maglaro na lang online. Maglaro ng mga mobile games. Mas madali. Okay? Mas maraming pleasure ang makukuha. Tapos sinasabi, kinukumbinsi natin yung sarili natin na papagalitan lang naman ako. Minus lang naman ako. Kaya mamaya ako na lang gagawin. So therefore, nabababa o yung nakikita natin na mas mababa lang naman yung pain. So pleasure na lang ang pipiliin ko. Okay? Yun po yung example ng paggawa natin ng desisyon. Ulitin ko, philosophic calculus. This is what we do, or this is how we measure, how we choose our option. Okay? Sa decision making po siya ginagamit. Next, dito rin po sa Classical School of Thought, nabigay or na-introduce ang concept ng utilitarianism. So what is utilitarianism? Utilitarianism, sa madaling salita, is choosing the greater good. Mas pinipili sa concept po na to, mas pinipili po ang ikabubuti ng nakararami sa Tagalog. Bigyan natin ng senaryo. Ikaw ay nasa release ng tren, diversion ng release ng tren. Sa kanan na release, may 3 taong nakatali doon. Tapos sa kaliwa, may 1 tao na nakatali doon. Nagkaroon ka lang ng chance para makatakbo doon sa may lever na nagdidesisyon kung kakanan ba yung tren o kakaliwa. Ano ang pipiliin mo? The utilitarianism concept states na dapat ang piliin mo is na maligtas. Dapat ang piliin mo na maligtas ay yung tatlong taong nakatali kaysa dun sa isa. Kasi mas maraming madulot na magagawa yon dahil mas maraming taong maliligtas. Ang kabayaran is isa. Yun po ang tinuturo ng utilitarianism na concept. Again, and simplest word, seeking the greater good. Another concept introduced during the classical school of thought is deterrence. Not primarily invented, no, pero introduced sa ating sa criminal justice system. Ngayon, deterrence is prevention of crime. So beforehand kasi, bago mangyari ang classical school of thought, ang paniniwala lang po sa pagbibigay ng punishment sa mga crimes and criminals is to retribute or paghihigante sa nagawang kasalanan. So, ang pinukusan dito sa classical school of thought is deterrence. Ang sabi that ang punishment should focus on preventing other people on committing the crime rather than avenging those victims that are affected by the crime itself, no? Ibig sabihin, mas mag-focus daw po sa pagpapunish para ma-prevent ang crime kesa sa paghigante sa nagawan ng krimen. Okay? Now, to better understand the concept, tulad ng lagi kong pinapaalala sa mga aking mga students, kapag sinabing what is criminology, the shortest explanation would be the scientific study of crimes, criminals, and victim. No? Hindi na, yun na yung shortest na explanation. Therefore, para mas madali natin maintindihan to, we should understand how are crimes, criminals, and victims viewed dito sa classical school of thought. Paano ba sila tinatrato o paano ba ang ano ba ang tingin sa kanila? Okay, to better understand, sa classical school of thought, crimes are treated as rational choice. Okay? Ito po ay mga option na pinili mismo ng mga kriminal. Ayun ang tingin dyan. Dahil pinili mo yan, kailangan mong pagbayaran ang kaukulang punishment sa krimen na yan. Ang criminals naman, tinitingnan ang mga criminals na may kakayahang pumili. Meron daw pong free will. So, ulitin. They are rational thinkers. They know what is right and wrong, yet they choose to commit the crime. Okay? Sa victim, katulad nga ng lagi ko rin sinasabi na victims are, kahit ngayon sa ating criminal justice, is considered the forgotten one. Bakit the forgotten one, sir? Kasi ang criminal justice system natin focuses on the criminal rather than the victim. Paano ko nasabi yon? Kasi pagdating sa law enforcement, lilipat sa component ng prosecution, lilipat sa court. After ng court, pag nasintensya ng kriminal, ang victim, pinapansin pa ba? Hindi na po gaano. Okay? Ganun po ang criminal justice system natin. Kaya po ang view sa victims are the forgotten one. So, nung unang panahon, mas lalo ho na hindi po gaano binibigyan ng pansin ang victim. Unless otherwise, there are royalties. Okay, moving on. Doon naman tayo sa next school of thought. The Neoclassical School of Thought. Neoclassical School of Thought took place in the late 18th century. So, within the same century po sila. Okay? To clarify, para sa mga nakakalimot, a century is 100 years. So, hindi po biro ang gaano kahaba katagal ang isang century. So, Neoclassical School took place on the late 18th century. Patapos na po yung century. And, ang concept po ng Neoclassical School of Thought, no, it modified the Classical School of Thought. Ulitin natin. The main concept sa Classical School of Thought, again, is free will. Now, in Neoclassical School of Thought, it modified it. Paano? It stated that free will of men may be affected by other factors and crime is committed due to some compelling reason that prevail. Okay, bukod sa free will ng isang tao, may nagsabi, or dito sa Neoclassical School, ang sabi, paano magiging choice ng isang tao yan? Paano if yung tao is bata? Paano kapag yung tao na tinutukoy is may sakit, may mental disorder? Paano yung mga yon? Wala naman silang kakayahan na piliin kung ano ang tama at mali. They do not completely know the specific calculus. They cannot properly measure the pain and the pleasure of making decisions. So, sa Neoclassical School of Thought po na introduce ang exempting circumstances, o kung saan na nire-recognize po yung kawalan ng kakayahan ng mga minors at ng mga mentally ill person or people sa pag-commit ng crime. Example, someone who has a condition of what you call a pyromania has the urge to put or to set things on fire. Okay? Ang isang taong may sakit na pyromania ay merong kagustuhan na nakikita at nararamdaman na yung mga bagay sa paligid niya ay lumiliyab. Paano masasabi natin na arson ba talaga yung ginawa niya or sa kanyang pag-iisip normal lang yun? Yun po yung isang example ng modification na ginawa ng Neoclassical School dun sa concept na introduce sa Classical School of Thought. Example pa, schizophrenia. Okay? Someone who has that kind of mental illness, someone who would you call is a schizophrenic, is living in a alternate perspective, reality. No? Meron po silang sariling literal na mundo. Depending on the level of their mental illness, meron po talagang namubuhay sa ibang klaseng realidad. May nakikita silang tao na hindi natin nakikita. May naririnig silang mga kung anong bagay-bagay na hindi natin naririnig dahil po yun sa sakit nila sa kanilang utak. Now, how can that someone make a rational choice of committing a crime? Paano natin masisiguro yun? Yun po yung tanong na sinagot ni Neoclassical School. No? Dapat ang mga minor na wala pang kakayahan na mag-discern kung alin ang tama at mali, at yung mga taong may mental illness should be exempted sa punishment ng By the way, pag sinabi nating exempted, wala ang yung criminal liability, however, you will still be civilly liable. Okay? Ang nawala lang po is yung punishment of imprisonment. Ang papalit lang naman doon is your you will be instituted in a mental institution. Okay? Pero ang civil liable or yung mga fines and mga kabayaran, restitution ay magiging effective pa rin po. And kapag ikaw po ay may mental illness, yan po ay mapupunta sa iyong guardian, magulang, or any relative that is in charge of taking care of you. Same with the minor. The same din ang principle. Sa Neoclassical School din po, nag-start ang mitigating circumstances. Ano naman yung mga mitigating circumstances? Pag sinabi pong mitigating circumstances in a simplest word, minus points. Minus points saan, sir? Pagka may kaso ka, may sentensya ka. If you can give a mitigating circumstance, that means meron pong circumstansya at meron pong pangyayari sa kaso mo na makakapagpabawas ng sentensya mo. May it be your punishment or imprisonment or sa civil liability mo, kabawasan sa kabayaran na gagawin mo. Ayun po ang ibig sabihin ng mitigating. Mitigate means to reduce, para mabawasan. Okay, mitigating circumstance. Both the mitigating circumstances and exempting circumstances are concepts introduced in the neoclassical school of thought. Moving on, doon naman po tayo sa third school of thought, the positivist school of thought. Okay, this took place in the 19th century na po. And the positivist school of thought, also called or referred to as scientific or empirical. When we say empirical or scientific, it is based on scientific method. Okay, scientific method is done and meron pong mga basis and facts and experiments na ginawa sa pag-aaral ng mga factors na ito. So, this school of thought introduced positivism. Positivism is a term introduced referring to the method of analysis based on collection of observable scientific facts. To remind you, scientific method ay yan po yung process wherein you conduct hypothesis, you create experiments, and then you test those experiments. You have variables, dependent and independent variables. Nung positivist school of thought na po, naging more in-depth ang pag-aaral. Bakit nga ba nagkakaroon ng crime? Bakit nga ba may kriminal? And pinag-aralan po nila to using the scientific development during these times. Kaya po na-introduce ang concept ng positivism. Sabi po dito sa positive school of thought, ang naapektuhan daw po ang isang taong nagiging krimen by biological and environmental factors. Nakakaapekto daw po ang biological and environmental factors. Paano? Biological refers to your genes. Okay? The way that your body evolved. And pag sinabi naman pong environmental factors, these are the people around you. Okay? Your social life. And yung karanasan mo sa buhay. Yun daw po ay nakakapekto sa isang tao, kaya niya nakukumit yung krimen. Okay? Dito po nanggaling yung mga konsepto na hindi dapat entirely sisihin ang taong isang kriminal. No? Katulad daw po nung mga serial killer. Hindi naman yan magiging ganyan kung hindi naman yan iniwan ng nanay niya. Kung hindi naman yan iniwan ng tatay niya. Ay kaya yan kriminal kasi broken family sila. Yun yung mga reasons na mga hindi naman kumpleto. Tama? Pero there is a factor affecting a person para makapag-isip ng tama kapag ganun ang nangyaring sitwasyon kaya. Though hindi nga po siya applicable all the time. Pero in the positive school of thought, mas naging in-depth. Balikan natin. Classical school of thought, sabi, meron kang kakayahang piliin ang gusto mong gawin. Pero nag-commit ka ng crime. Sabi naman ni Neoclassical School, hindi lahat may kakayahan na pumili kung ng maayos. Baka mamaya yan, apektado yan ng kanyang sakit, pag-iisip, o kaya bata pa yan, wala pa yung sapat na kakayahan. Sabi naman ni Positivist School of Theory, Positivist School of Thought, rather, dapat pagbasihan natin ay sa scientific method, magkaroon tayo ng experiments and ng pag-aaral para malaman natin kung bakit ba talaga siya naging ganyan. Okay? Ano ba yung nangyari sa kanya biologically and environmentally? Dito rin po sinabi sa Positivist School of Thought that crimes are natural phenomenon. Pag sinabi pong crime is natural phenomenon, ang tinutukoy po dyan is ang krimen daw po ay hindi mapipigilan. Meron at merong mangyayaring krimen saan man or kung paano man. Okay? In other words, crime is inevitable. You cannot stop it. You cannot completely prevent it from happening. Dito rin po naging nakilala sa positivist theory ang tinatawag na Holy Tree of Criminology. Okay? Introduce po natin sila on a separate video. So, this Holy Tree are advocators of the positivist school of thought. Oh, palan, by the way, positivist school of thought is sometimes referred to as the Italian school of thought. Primarily because most of its advocators or yung mga pasimuno po nito or yung mga may gawa po ng positivist school of thought is or have an Italian origin. That would be all for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay curious and follow for more.